Hi folks, and welcome to Tree Stand Buddies Game On. I'm your host, Nate Klein. This week we're bow hunting Ohio's opening weekend for whitetails, then we're going to stay in Ohio for some ticked off gobblers. Get ready, because Tree Stand Buddies Game On starts right now.
Big cat, big mature cat.
That was awesome.
Tree Stand Buddies Game On is brought to you by the Tree Stand Buddy, the easiest and safest way to hang your stand. Booner Builder, start building your invisible food plot today. True Fire releases and broadheads, products more archers trust. High Country Archery, celebrating 30 years of archery excellence. Walnut Grove, makers of the Booger. Bush in a Bag, your personal ground concealment system. And Southern Ohio Outfitters, Ohio's #1 premier outfit for trophy whitetail and turkey hunting. Products and services also provided by these sponsors.
First weekend of deer season is always, we have a ball. The guys from PA come down, West Virginia, they come over. We all get together and have one big group hunt.
We all crash at Nate's house and just try to put as many deer on the ground as we can.
It's a weekend of fun and camaraderie.
Well, it's opening morning here in Ohio. Started my year off in Kentucky with no success. Today, it's redemption. First sling kid that walks in here will get shot. It's time for a double lung slap, baby. It's opening day. Broke the ice, baby. I smoked her. Heck of a track job.
Adam Southern opening day, he smacked the doe down to get everything started.
Now that is an arrow. Look at that. I'll tell you what, that switchblade did its job. The deer is right there. This is the perfect size doe for eating. Nice young doe. Managing in the herd. Feeding everybody at the same time.
Adam was able to pull the rug out from under that doe, but it's bone we're after, and I had a few bucks pattern for the guys.
Well, since the guys from PA and West Virginia come down that first weekend, the guys here in Ohio usually film them, or, we'll switch it up here and there. But somehow it come down to, I get to film Robbie.
Well, it's the second morning of our Ohio hunt. We hung a stand up here a couple weeks ago. And I'm actually checking my trail camera pictures now. We had 500 and some pictures in the last 3 days. So I'm hoping we find a shooter buck. Me and Jesse are together today, so hopefully a little bit of his luck comes and rubs on me and we can put one down today. The weather's gonna hold out. We had a front come in, hit left, so hopefully the deer move and we can get an arrow on one.
Anticipation is high for day number 2. Let's see what the morning brings after the break.
This portion of the show brought to you by High Country Archery, 30 years of excellence. It's the second day of the season, so, we're hunting food sources. We got a cornfield above us, a soybean on the other side of us, and we're hunting this hollow to where we're hoping the deer will pass through there on the way back from feeding back to their bedding area.
On this particular morning, Jesse and I, it was planned out. Jesse was going to be the cameraman, I was a shooter. So Jesse goes, care if I take my bow? I'm thinking, opening weekend, opening day, whatever. He's not gonna see anything. Yeah, bring it. Early bow season, it's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're gonna see, especially in the mornings. Most guys, they pattern their deer in the evenings because they sit and they watch fields. But we love to be out in the woods, especially myself. I love being out there in the morning. And we were hunting in this cut over timber. It had been actually timbered a few years ago, and it was just starting to get some new growth. There were some oak trees and stuff that weren't taken down, but there was a lot of new growth and stuff. And Jesse and I were just sitting there shooting the breeze and just waiting for the morning to pass, hoping that a good buck or to get to at least see some deer would come walking past us.
You know, we have these 2 logging roads on either side of us. Early season, we went out and sprayed some Booner Builder to kind of funnel the deer right in close to the stand there.
It's good to get your Booner Builder browse route sprayed early because it gets the bucks used to walking right past your stand.
It's about 9:30. Jesse and I had just quit talking to each other and just kind of settled back in our stand. And he goes, "Robbie, get your bow, shooter, shooter, shooter." So I had to hurry up and all one motion, turn around, grab my bow, stand up, and this deer is just moving. It's just moving across just too fast. There's just no way I can get a shot at it from where my stand was at.
Robbie, I can get a shot at him right out here.
And if you watch this deer when he comes in, he walks right down the logging road, right to where we sprayed the Booner Builder.
Jesse, he goes, "Robbie, I can kill it." And it took me a minute to register because I'm the guest. I'm on an out-of-state hunt. I spent 5 times the money for my license that he did, and he's asking me to film him.
It can't be 30 yards from us. Here's Robbie and I in a tree, handing cameras back and forth. Robbie's hanging his bow up, and I'm grabbing my bow, trying to get a shot at this deer without being busted.
I got him.
When the deer steps out, Jesse has a perfect view of this deer. But as you can see, our angles were so different. Looking through the lens of the camera, I just didn't have the same clear shot that he had. But that's why he was able to shoot the deer, and I was just able to film it.
I stuck him hard.
That's threading the needle, Jess. You slipped a switchblade right through that jungle and right in the Boilermaker.
Second day of Ohio season, Mr. Robbie Gilbert behind the camera. I just stuck a real nice buck. Man, that happened quick, didn't it?
It did.
Did you get much footage of him there? Robbie and I was just talking about the show and how we want to make things better. And I look up and he's standing right there at 60 yards. He walked right past you. I thought for sure you could stick him on that road right there.
It's a good buck.
It's a real good buck.
Anytime an OI guy kills a deer, it's a big event where everybody's just happy. They want to be part of it. Well, opening weekend, everybody's in anyways. We were actually getting ready to go meet for lunch. And when I sent out the message that Jesse had killed a deer, the whole crew came out to help get this big boy out of the woods.
We ended up going up there. I was sitting there like this. And he goes, getting ready to shoot it, and he never stopped. And he's like, "Robbie, I think I can get a shot." I was like, "Okay."
Because once he come across that road, it was thick.
It's hard for me to take the bow out of my hand and put the camera in it. So I realized, oh, he means for me to film. So I hung my bow up and took the camera and ended up getting him.
He come up out of the bottom
Right up top, walked the ridge on.
through that thick stuff.
Nope. Fun.
I do feel bad for you having to film somebody kill something.
Well, good luck to
Every time Robbie
him.
films for me, I shoot something.
Good luck to him.
When was the last time?
Shotgun season.
Yep. That's right. Yep.
I was just telling Richie, this is a rare combination. Robbie filming Jess in Ohio with a bow.
Opening weekend.
Hold
good.
on, Jeff.
Hey, luck's changing.
Yeah.
Here you rub me a little bit. Rub us a little bit.
Pick up me. I'm telling you.
Rub off on me.
No, that's wrong.
That's a big butt down.
Come down through there.
No kidding. Why don't you drag him out here? Here, give me your bow.
Nice.
Jesse, we had a time with this deer, didn't we?
We did. I tell you, all I can see is them long tines coming through the woods.
Explain to me how I went from being the shooter to cameraman in a matter of seconds. You know, I'm a guest out here in Ohio, and I ended up filming you killing this good buck.
Well, I mean, just the way it happened. He come around a tree where you couldn't shoot him, and
But we've had so many trail camera pictures of this deer. He's been showing up all over his property, and
we all kept saying every time we get a picture of him, that buck, you know, he was a good buck. Well, then last night we actually seen him, and I said, we're going to be surprised if we get this deer on the ground, and I am. Those are some beautiful times.
Long G2s, long G3s.
He does. I mean,
Even his brows are long.
You're probably looking at 8, 9-inch G2s, G3s. The only thing he's got hurting him is that G4 out there, but it's still going to be long enough to make a point. So yeah. He's got a compact rack, but I think that's a gene on this property. Long tines, heavy beams, and just high and tight. He's a real good deer.
Happy with him.
I'm glad we found him. It took us a while. That blood trail, he probably ran about 400 yards.
We've got our first buck of the year down in Ohio, and after this, we're going to come back and try to kill some turkeys that want to fight back. I'll show you what I mean after the break. This week's Booner Builder success story comes from 86-year-old Bob Stoll. Bob took his first turkey ever by setting up in an area that was full of turkeys, thanks to Booner Builder. Go to BoonerBuilder.com and get you some.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Invite Food Plots and Minerals. Make them thrive 365.
This year in Ohio, I had all kinds of turkeys located before season, and I found a morning where I was going to take a ridge where I had this one bird just hammering. Well, the guys and I went up and we got set up, and I found a spot where I've killed turkeys in the past, and I got him to gobble.
Got this turkey that was just hammering when we got out of the truck. We got set up in a field up here and he shut up. But we thought we heard him gobbling way. Oh, here he comes. Yeah, we're gonna get set up.
We scrambled to get set up, and I got the bush in a bag on, and we put a decoy out about 15 yards right in front of me, and it's wide open. As soon as the bird crested that ridge, he got a glimpse of the decoy, and he was right in my lap. Now, I had a hard time with this turkey because he gobbled like a longbeard. He came in strong like a longbeard, but when he got close, I could see that his tail fan wasn't a full tail fan, and his beard was only about 5 or 6 inches long. So I'm dealing with a hard gobbling, hard strutting Jake coming straight to my decoy, and he's ready to beat the thing up. I sat there, and as I watched him, he stands tall. This is one of the biggest Jakes I've ever seen. He towers high above my decoy, and I think he knew that he could take this little guy on, because at that point, it was a fight and the boxing match was on. Well, I let my decoy take enough punishment, and finally the Jake decides to walk off, but it just proves that bush in a bag keeps you so concealed, and the use of a decoy helps to distract turkeys like that. You can get that experience of having a turkey right in your lap, and if he would have been a longbeard, it would have been a great over-the-shoulder shot.
Well, that was almost a perfect turkey. I'm sold on that decoy. That turkey was very spooked. You can probably hear him putting over there. He tried to circle around us, but when he got eyes on that decoy, he didn't want it. He didn't want that decoy in his area, but it's a Jake. Big Jake. He came in gobbling like a man. He almost took one like a man. I got some youth hunters for next weekend we may bring back after that bird. Maybe we'll put on the same type of show. You saw me, I was waving at that turkey. If you wear a bush in a bag, it completely breaks up your human outline. He had no idea what I was. Just more bushes moving in the wind. All right, let's go get on a turkey with one of these. Gotta check the damage here. I apologize, buddy. I thought he was a longbeard too. But as you know, friends don't let friends shoot Jakes. That was fun. Plenty more turkeys around. We'll find another one. Let's go.
Well, the next day I knew the turkeys are just fired up, and it's when you get that week in your season where the turkeys are just hammering, you have to take advantage of that. Well, I got out and worked a ridge, and I had a bird answering me, and I could tell that if I get that decoy spread set up again, it may be just another one of those fighting boxing matches.
Guys, we got a bird going about 300 yards out this ridge. It's a wide open flat. We set this Jake decoy up, see if we can't get him to come in and put on a little boxing match. I'm gonna put the decoy out before I get set up.
Again, I've got the bush in a bag on, and I've got my decoy spread just inside of 20 yards out in front of me, and as you can see, there's nothing between me and this decoy but May-apples. So the turkey's gobbling, he's working his way in. This is wide open air. He struts around that bush, steps over the log, and I can tell that this turkey was just ticked off enough to hit my decoy. I've got another hot gobbler coming in Ohio, and I'll bet you the fight is about to be on. Don't go anywhere, you don't want to miss it. This week's Booner Builder tip of the week is to identify the plants that the deer are already feeding on. That's what you're going to want to apply your Booner Builder to for your ultimate success. Go to boonerbuilder.com, they'll be able to walk you through more of the steps, and you can get you some.
This portion of the show has been brought to you by Gibbs Archery Gear, makers of the Easy Case bow sling and the Thumper stabilizer. Get some.
It was almost a repeat performance of the Jake from the day before, and in my mind I'm thinking, I'm just gonna let this go on. I'm gonna see how much abuse my decoy will take. Well, as turkeys do, they get a little spooky, and I wasn't about to let this thing get away. He gave the decoy a little bit of a hammer, didn't he? Bird down in Ohio. Sitting whining. Again, not pushing the bag. Amazing. Alright. Good for the turkey. You know, my brother and I hunt the same spots. Can you please save me a bird? That's a turkey, boys. That little joker right there just put on a show for me. Let's take a look at this bird. It's a wet morning. Big eastern tail fan. Just that bronze color. I've been hunting them in the Midwest, and tail colors are all different, but this is my first one back home this year. Beautiful turkey. He's that was a show. I mean, this turkey, we heard him gobbling out this ridge and got set up on him, and it didn't take 5 minutes. And a mistake a lot of guys will make is they'll just call him, call him, call him. I let him gobble once on his own, and I called twice at him to let him know where I was. He strutted the whole way in, as far as I could see him anyway. Let's look at the beard here. Get my glove off for you so you can see it. It's a little pencil, got all kinds of blood in that beard. I'm not gonna kid you here. When I shot this turkey, he was lights out. And I've given a turkey a lead lunch, but it's breakfast time, so this was a BB breakfast for this little bird. Take a look at his spurs real quick. That's just like I thought, about an inch. That's an Ohio Eastern 2-year-old right there. Bird number 5 for me on the season in my home state of Ohio. In Ohio, you can only kill 1 turkey a day, so I'm thinking, I've got my cameraman with me, Cody Landis. I'm gonna take him out to one of my other sweet spots to see if the birds are just as fired up as they were this morning. We went to the first place to call, and I had a bird cut me off. We take off and get set up in a small field.
We located the bird. He's a couple hundred yards out here in the other field. I tried to pull him in. I think he's out there strutting. I think he's all alone. I'm not sure. Got the decoy set up. See if we can pull him in.
The way this land lays, there are a couple small fields connected by 4-wheeler trails. We knew the bird was in one of the small fields, so we picked a separate one and hoped to call him right down that 4-wheeler trail. It didn't take long at all, and I could hear the bird gobbling out there, but as he got closer, he stopped gobbling. I could hear him spitting and drumming, and I whispered to Cody, I think he's only about 70 yards. It didn't take a matter of seconds before we saw that big tail fan. Now this bird came around that corner, and it was beautiful footage. The sun was hitting this bird's feathers. You could see all the colors in him. He's strutting around the decoy, and I'm waiting in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, do we have another boxing match that's gonna happen here? Another fight with this decoy? I don't know how much more punishment this decoy can take for one day. So we waited until the bird got close enough and slapped the decoy, and then I told Cody, take the shot if you can.
Two on today. Cody, give me some love. haven't killed a turkey in probably 3 years. Last one I killed was Jake. They put me on this bird. Whew. That was a show. That was a show.
Here in Ohio, it's tough to use a decoy, but this year they're fired up and tearing them up.
He just comes spitting and drumming up through here, and put a couple calls out to him, and it was game over. Awesome bird. Pretty good beard on him. Here's the hooks. Right there. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Haven't killed one in a few years. Awesome.
Those turkey hunts just prove that when you find that hot week in your state, you've got to take advantage of it and find out what those turkeys are doing and get on them now. That's going to do it for this week's show. Don't forget to go to Invite's Facebook page, type I want my Invite food plot on their wall. They're going to be giving away more seed. That's going to do it for this week's show. We'll see you right back here next week on Tree Stand Buddies Game On.
Tree Stand Buddies Game On has been brought to you by Tree Stand Buddies at treestandbuddy.com, Booner Builder at boonerbuilder.com, True Fire at truefire.com, High Country Archery at highcountryarchery.com, Walnut Grove Hunting Products at walnutgrovehunting.com, Bush in a Bag at bushnabag.com, Southern Ohio Outfitters at southernohio.outfitters.com. Also, go to OutdoorInsightsTV.com and find links to all these fine sponsors. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey, just talk about my turkey hunt a little bit. You've seen it.
I ain't seen any of your hunts.
Or something like that, you know?
Yeah, we've got...
Okay. I don't know if I really like all this bird noise.
Closed captioning has been provided by High Country Archery.